This is New Orleans!
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Big Q representing the sports coma. We up in this thing, man. A bit of a news. To talk about Derek Carr, a new article has been submerged. Insider Jordan Schultz talks about what's going on with Derek Carr and the teams rumored around him. We'll cover this story in this episode of the show. Please hit the like button and the sub button, the subscribe button and the share button, as well as the notification buttons. Let me know what you guys think about the Derek Carr rumorville and what you guys think we should get for Carr. This is a bit of good news for us in many different fashions if you think about it. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sports Coma sponsor. Check out FanDuel's app for your prop bets on all the professional sports. They got you covered. Now let's jump right into this article right here, fam. Sources talking about in talking to teams, the QB market, and this is Jordan Schultz talking in this tweet. There's a strong belief that former Saints QB Derek Carr is very serious about unretiring and returning to the NFL. Now, Carr's rights belong to the Saints, but the teams with winning aspirations have real interest in the former 4-time Pro Bowler. So this is going on right now, and it's only picking up steam. We covered this article before, but it's just going into it more in particular. It's talking about these reports about QB needy teams. And this, like I said, this free agency cycle is very suspect in terms of the QB talent that's available from a free agent standpoint. It's not a great class of rookie quarterbacks coming into the draft. So this is a perfect time for Derek Carr, who's 100% healthy, to step on the scene. And this could be a big benefit for the Saints as well. So we're going to talk about Derek Carr returning, and it's a very strong interest, and it's almost very certain that certain teams want Derek Carr, and we'll see who those teams are. This article kind of talks about a few things tied around that. So there's a strong belief that Carr will end his retirement. Shout out to Sigler from Saints Wire. He penned this article. Carr's contract still belongs to the Saints, so many teams pursuing him will have to trade something back to the Saints. Now, it's a good question to be in a good position, and the question is, the Saints know Carr doesn't have a future with them, and with no trade clause, is toothless after he gave back the contract guarantees they owed him for 25-26. So the question is, where could we pack and ship him? It's not like a random team will make the Saints an offer without his consent either. If Carr wants to come back, he'll pick his spot. The Saints will work it out, a deal. And the prospects of joining a playoff contender has to be appealing. So this is what it was sourced. So which teams could be in on him? One obvious team that hopes to win these games, win some games this year, that have a void at the quarterback position is the Indianapolis Colts. They went all in the 2025 trade deadline, only to lose Daniel Jones to an Achilles injury. Now he's set to be a free agent. They've got to justify their big moves after finishes the season 8-9, and they actually started off pretty good. Another team to watch could be the Vikings, who lost a ton of confidence in J.J. McCarthy, but still finished with 9 wins. That wasn't enough for them to make the playoffs, but they could, view it as a platform Carr could work with. Other teams are surely in the mix, but it's looking more and more like Carr is spinning it somewhere in 2026, and that's good news for the black and gold. So indeed, so we mentioned the Colts, we talked about the Vikings, we talked about the Jets. Most than likely they're going to be out based on what he wants. He wants a team is going to be a playoff contender. So what realistically could we receive in trade for Derek Carr? Shout out to Saints Wire writer Luke Lofredo. He did a really good job penning this article. This recent speculation around Carr potentially making a return has the support base in New Orleans hopeful, and not because they're eager to see Carr suit up for another team, but because of the reward that will come along with it. Last offseason, Carr made the decision to retire due to a shoulder injury that significantly limited his ability to throw the ball, and at that time, the injury appeared to be a long-term concern. However, the report suggests Carr's shoulder has healed to the point where he could perform functional movements required to throw, and sparked renewed interest around the NFL. Now, several franchises still searching for stability under the center position. Carr potential trade has quietly become one of the more intriguing storylines of the offseason. He's 34 years old. he could still offer a steady presence for a team that believes that they're ready to win now. And that's what he said, that he wants to play, if he comes out, he wants to play for a contender. As the teams to begin to explore the possibility of adding Derek Carr, the Saints also gain an opportunity to evaluate what kind of compensation they could receive in return, taking into account quarterback need across the league and the available draft capital of interested teams. Here are a few potential trade proposals involving Derek Carr and the Saints. Now, what if it's the Vikings? The first one here showing that the Saints get pick number 97, which is a third-round compensatory pick. The Vikings end up getting Derek Carr and a number 89th sixth-round selection. So getting a third-round compensatory pick from the Vikings for Derek Carr, that is big. That's huge. Would love to see that happening. Other trade potentials are Saints get pick 103, which is a fourth rounder, and pick 206 from the Jets, which is a sixth rounder for Derek Carr, right? So we get a fourth and a sixth round pick for this draft for Derek Carr. The Jets get Carr. Only problem is I don't think Carr goes to the Jets. I don't think he sees them as a contender, right? So, we'll see how that works, though. How about the Cardinals? The Cardinals give us the 104th pick, which is a fourth round pick, and the number 181, which is a sixth round pick for Derek Carr. So you can see the theme, a fourth and a sixth from this year's draft for Derek Carr. More draft capital is always a positive for the Saints. Once again, Cardinals are an interesting spot. I don't know. Cardinals are very interesting. How about the Colts? Colts give up a fourth round pick, 113. And a fifth round pick, 154 for Derek Carr. Colts had a lot of weapons up there. They had some positive stuff going on before Daniel Jones got hurt. Could Derek Carr step up there and do some positive stuff? He got a great running back in Jonathan Taylor. He got a solid wide receiver in Pittman. They got a really solid offensive line. They got a lot of good stuff going on in Indianapolis. I think Carr would definitely like the Colts, and we getting a fourth and fifth round pick from this year's draft would be positive. And, of course, they threw the Raiders in there, right, which we don't think will happen. The Saints get the 102 fourth-round pick and the 219 seventh-round pick for Derek Carr. So I don't think the Raiders are interested. They'll end up getting Mendoza back there. But you never know. We did have Carr. He worked with Clint Kubiak for a year. So maybe they might be a backup slot for him. Maybe not with Geno Smith already being there. Who knows how this all works. So each team will likely have at least some level of interest in the quarterback, with existing coaching ties potentially making some of these moves even more interesting. Now, if the Saints are able to receive compensation for Carr's services, it will be a significant win for the franchise, already securing 2 mid-round selections for Rashid Shaheed and additional picks following the departure of Paulson Adebo. With 8 total picks, including 1 inside the top 10, the Saints could position themselves perfectly for another strong draft class. And this is true. We'll see how it all works in the end. But in the end, it's a win, regardless of what happened with the Saints, where we can secure more draft capital for Derek Carr leaving. So with that being said, man, what do y'all think about it? Y'all hit the chat up. Let me know your thoughts on this development. Saints getting more picks, and more picks for Derek Carr, man. The offseason continues to get better, man, all the time. So listen, fam, we'll be back with some more reports later on. We'll be talking about the NFL Combine and who's stepping up, stepping out. We'll talk about that later on. With that being said, I'm out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and the notification bell. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. And listen, I'm going to holler at you on the next one. Much love. Peace.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic, NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.